Hello, everyone. It is Friday, April 19th. This is sig-aws. I am your moderator and facilitator for today, Justin Santa Barbara. I work at Google. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded. Excuse me. I'm reminded this meeting is being recorded and will be put on the internet. And please be mindful of our code of conduct. The agenda, I will paste a link to our agenda into the chat. Please do feel free to add items to the agenda. We don't have a lot on there. It's a holiday weekend in much of the world. So I don't know whether we'll have a ton on the agenda. We also don't have a demo today because of holidays. And please do add items to the agenda. Please put your name on there if you would like to. It's helpful for people that watch the video to tie back to who you are. And otherwise, we can kick off the first item on the agenda. Mike and Tiffany, you have a topic around backporting credential provider bug fixes for ECR. Does one of you want to take it away?
Sorry, I just swapped over to my laptop so that way, because I was on my phone. I assume you were asking about the ECR stuff, because I heard the last thing I heard was ECR.
Yes, the first item on the agenda is yours and Mike's backporting credential provider bug fixes for ECR to 111 to 114, which I think the PR is 75587. It's the pretty big one.
Yeah, it's kind of chunky. Yeah, basically there were a couple bugs that it ended up fixing. So, like, basically, if it didn't correctly get your credentials, it would cache the no credentials for 12 hours, and you were stuck, and you'd have to either like create some script to handle it or SSH in and restart kubelet. And so that's like, it's been an issue for a while. That doesn't mean it's not important. It just hadn't been fixed. And then another one is for the Google Go Container Registry repo. It is using the different credential providers, and right now John Johnson's having to make a patch for our stuff because there's no init, which is also listed in that PR. So between him having to patch back to 112 and it breaking, it like and then dealing with the whole like 12 hours of caching.
Yes,
we were wanting to backport it to basically if we could get it back to 112.
Yeah, I think,
and this is an issue that both we've heard a lot from AWS customers, as well as our partner team ECR within AWS is highly interested in landing this fix, just because it does kind of handle this kind of nasty edge case.
Yeah, and Andrew is saying he had to make scripts and was wondering how many people out there had to make scripts just to fix this problem for themselves.
And this problem is primarily the one where we, for whatever reason, don't get a credential first time and then we cache that negative credential. I guess I didn't understand the second one you mentioned.
Yeah, so the second one, there's the unrelated specifically to the Kubernetes repo. So there's a Go Container Registry, and let me find, yeah. So it's Google/Go Container Container Registry, and there's an issue basically that it's expecting to register all the credential providers, but there's no init, so it works for everyone except for AWS. So I can drop that. Yeah.
And I guess to put a little bit more color behind that, what happens for the AWS credential provider is that the cloud provider registers it, because previously the AWS credential provider, one instance was registered per AWS region, and those AWS regions were only listed in the cloud provider. The fix that we're proposing, backporting, eliminates the region dependency and the N credentials, or credential providers where N is the number of AWS regions.
Yes, I guess my feedback would be, right now the PR is a fairly big cherry pick, and although in the past we have been lax about cherry picking pretty big things back to previous branches, I think that is not necessarily the case, and so I think there would be a lot more pushback on it now. I think the negative, or the caching of the negative result, is pretty clearly a bug, and if we could extract out or create a new PR on, I guess, against the 114 branch where we just fix that, that to me feels like it could be a pretty, like I'd imagine that'd be less than 10 or 20 lines, right? And that would be that sort
don't
of order of
think so.
magnitude.
We redid the entire way caching worked, so it would be probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether it's possible to, as it were, just fix the bug and not, fix the whole like design issues in a cherry pick, because it's very it's a gray area. We say we don't backport features. This is a bug fix with supporting design cleanup, and I don't know how we feel about that.
And then what about the Go container registry one? Because I guess what would that be defined as? Is you guys have to patch us?
Honestly, I haven't looked at that. I don't know I'm going to read the issue.
So I think that the fix that we made is we kind of conflated things. You're right. We kind of cleaned up some design while we were fixing a bug, and that does make this a little bit of a gray area. But I think we're basically going to have to just totally start from scratch if we want to just do a targeted bug fix into a previous release. And that just strikes me as not a great use of our time. If we could make a push rather to just backport what we already have and that we know works, as opposed to trying to just completely start fresh.
How about, why don't you open the cherry pick to 114? And we can, I don't remember off the top of my head who the 114 cherry pick person is, but we can see how they react. If they're like, this looks great, then there is no problem. My gut is that there may be more pushback than that, but I think having a cherry pick and having a discussion on there would be a pretty objective way to do things. And we can then like clarify if there is pushback, the strength of the pushback, and to what extent it would have to be, what the next steps are, I guess.
Okay. I think that's a good path forward. I just wanted to make sure that we brought this to sig-aws just ahead of time, so nobody's surprised, and we can kind of have that conversation.
Yeah, I guess the other side of this could be, you mentioned someone had a script to restart the kubelets because they were hitting this issue. If we open an issue and gather a lot of evidence that it is a serious problem, that will help the case for the backport, I guess.
You mean reopen the issue that was there before for the original problem?
Okay, maybe not. Then just reference the issue. I didn't know whether there was a well-defined issue versus because as I recall, there was, you cleaned up a bunch of things in this PR, which is great, right? But it makes it harder to cherry pick. Like there was the issue about the lack of separation of the packages and crossing over the packages and that sort of thing. But like this, to me, the package issue wouldn't justify a cherry pick, or wouldn't itself justify a cherry pick, whereas the caching of bad credentials for 12 hours would justify a cherry pick.
Yeah, that one, the caching of bad credentials, there is a issue for that one that I closed or at least I think I closed it when I created the PR that I did.
Cool. So yeah, just I guess referencing that PR and that issue in the cherry pick would be helpful, even if it is closed, because it's fixed on master, but it's not fixed on 114, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you for the PR. I think it's awesome. I think it's great to see. Whether or not we get it into 114, I think it's great to see that it will be fixed. That is great progress.
Yeah. Thanks.
And I will read about the Go container registry. Honestly, I don't know what this repo is. Is this repo involved in Kubernetes or not?
Yes. I think it's kind of related to some of the stuff that like GCR is doing.
Okay. I will read the issue and try to understand where this repo came from.
Yeah, and I'll post the other, and then this is the other issue. That's the one that is the credential caching.
Did you just put that in chat? Let's put that in the minutes if so. I'm going to copy both these.
They're both tagged in the issue that got merged. I mean, the PR that got merged.
Okay. I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to talk about on that topic. Otherwise, we can move on to the next one. Just copied your links into the into our minutes just so that we have them, because the Zoom chat goes away and just be easier for people watching the video and for me. All right, the next one is another PR, which I have not looked at, which is the, so from last time, Jan, I think, asked about this better autoscaler for AWS. There's a big PR. That PR is autoscaler 486. I said I would look at it and have not yet had the time to. I apologize, Jan, if you're watching. I don't see you on the call.
Yeah, I have to drop for another meeting, but I will see you later. Thank you.
Thanks. But yeah, Jan, if you're watching, I apologize. I have not yet looked at it. I will look at it, and I have not actually made progress on the Slack channel idea either. I do think it's fine to mention it in the autoscaler Slack, but yeah, hopefully we can find a good venue, but I have not done that. I'm sorry.
Do you have the issue, Justin?
It's actually a PR, yes. I will paste the link. It's autoscaler 486 there. And essentially this PR is good functionality that has been developed by a company called Peak and Kloppenberg, and we have not really dealt with it. We have not merged it or told them. We've not said yes or no, which is not helpful. And it seems like it's an important piece of functionality in the autoscaler, which a lot of people would like. So I said I would look at it, but I have not yet had the time to. It's also, the cluster autoscaler doesn't necessarily have as much in-depth knowledge of AWS. And this is pretty specific functionality for AWS.
Okay.
All right, I don't know if anyone else has any other topics. We've reached the end of our agenda. Otherwise, going once, going twice. Otherwise, I wish everyone a very happy holiday, not holiday weekend, or Easter weekend, or Easter egg hunt weekend, or however you are choosing to celebrate it, and or just weekend. And I will see everyone in 2 weeks. Unless, Nishi, did you have anything? Sorry.
No, just the update that the UG is getting formed, and it'll roll out in probably 2 weeks' time.
Okay, that's what I was just like. Oh, hold on. It might be a change of venue, but yes. So there's progress on the user group discussion, and where should people go to follow that discussion?
There's a Google group. I can send the link out for that. I'll just paste it on the, just a second. Yeah, it's the, sorry.
Okay, Kubernetes user group governance Google groups. All right, I will put that in the minutes, and I will also go read about all the fun stuff happening there.
Yeah, it should, the governance proposal is almost done, and we should open a PR fairly soon, and then I'll link it the next week.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you for driving that, Nishi.
No problem.
All right, for real now. Last chance. See everyone in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.